Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck hip straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound, and while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, let's take few minutes to understand how this meditation practice will help for us to develop our conventional understanding and conventional wisdom, and how it can take us to our spiritual success. So it is very important to understand about what the Buddha taught regarding this world, because we are following Buddha's word and we look for liberation, enlightenment, nibbana, because as we experience this everything, all our perception and all our five aggregates, form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition, and all eye object, ear object, nose object, tongue object, body object, and mind object, this everything conditioned by something and change moment by moment. So there is no unchangeable, solid, concrete self belong to me or myself. So, but still we have an idea about I am. So nothing wrong with that. But still we have to remember there is no such a fundamental thing. So that's why we have to understand it, and if there is no fundamental self, if everything depends on something, we have no power over anything regarding this world. So then, when it comes to our day-to-day life, how we exist, what is the meaning of life, where we are heading, what is the very purpose of life? So those questions are very common and very old. So there are many ways that people try to look into life and according to their own point of view. But when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, it is very important to understand that the Buddha, what the Buddha taught, rather than regarding our own point of view. So that is what called the Dharma, what the Buddha taught. So still we are so lucky to have that teachings, not everything, but still part of it. This is what called the Tripitaka. So then it is important for you to take some time little bit and study regarding what really Buddha taught about, especially that kind of like a very foundation or the very fundamentals of the Buddha's teaching. Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path, and regarding mindfulness, and regarding the truth, conventional truth and the eternal truth. So those are kind of like very key points that need to understand, because it gives a very clear understanding regarding our own life and at the same time regarding this nature. But most of time what happens now, because everywhere now meditation, and what happens most of time, people are having their own ideas and they try to interpret their own ideas through the Buddha's teaching. That is one way of that developing the teachings. But that is not the successful way. If you are capable to understand or read the Buddha sutras and try to get the meaning out of it, rather than putting our ideas on it, if you are capable to get the meaning out of that sutras, then you will understand what the Buddha taught. Because it is something very special. Still we are missing most of time really what the Buddha taught, really regarding the Buddha's teaching. Why? Because we are already into concept, ideas, thoughts. When we come to this world already conditioned by ideas. So we have to just go with that. Even just imagine after 100 years when you come back to this world, after 1,000 years when you come back to this world, this world already developed by preconditioned mind. People already set up ideas. So you cannot experience some kind of brand new, clear, it's a kind of like a free world. You're always going to come to a world with full of ideas. So then just imagine from the childhood that you are trained to think in a certain way, which you have no choice. We just have to go with it. And then what happens? We are trying to get that ideas, and we are trying to put our identity on it, and we are trying to build up our own life through that concept, and then through the comparison and the social validations, and through the culture, environment, we have to maintain our life. And again and again, again and again, we have to keep doing it. Another thing is that is the mental world. So mentally, remember, you are not free in this world. Another thing is physically. When you come to this world, even when you are inside the mother's womb, from that, the air, we are conditioned by this world. So when we come to this world, so this each and every cell in our body depending on breathing. So that's mean air. And not only that, food circle. Always that whatever we intake change our physical condition. And environment, seasons change our life. So we are kind of like a conditioned by physically, we are conditioned by mentally. And maintaining that is what we call our life. And then what happened? We are reminding, receiving, responding. So physically, mentally, this become our circle. We are reminding, receiving, responding. Just look around you. Our mind always into imagination. Our mind always into thinking. Our mind always reflect on our own past. And it's kind of like that mind cannot escape from these situations which we are already become biased to our own past. We can't get out of our memory. So then we are reminding, recalling, bringing it back again and again and again. And not only then that, then what happens? And we are receiving non-stop, morning to night. We are receiving every day from birth to death, keep receiving, receiving, receiving. And there is no end. So then not only that, we are reminding, recalling, receiving according to our memory, and then reacting. So that's become our life. Always keep thinking, 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 build up our imagination and build up our life. And then it's kind of like a rat race. There's no end. And if you look very carefully, we are always kind of like a covering up through nature. Like when we buy a table, we always into put a kind of like a tablecloth. We always try to cover the very natural beauty of the table. But no any carpenter make any table thinking that whoever going to buy it will put a tablecloth on it. The people create tables to use it itself without any tablecloth. But for us, maybe thinking about protection, maybe make it more beautiful, to have a nice appearance, we bring a tablecloth and put on it. So then what happens by the time? We slowly start to forget the very true nature of the very organic color of the table. and we are stuck with the tablecloth. So same thing with our body also. See that we born with this naked body. But when we civilize through the society, culture, tradition, we start to put cloth on it. So that clothes represent our identity. And now we are holding to that identity, and we are trying to maintain that identity, and we are struggling to maintain that identity. So it's kind of like we forget our true nature inside us. And then by the time we become completely kind of like different people, and people are always into egocentric mind and maintaining that identity which they took from this outside world, they put on them, and they are struggling with it. And finally, end of the day, it's not going to be there with us. So that's why practicing meditation is a method that you withdraw from that self-centered view, and you are just withdraw from maintaining that identity. Simply come to a point to observe rather than imagination, rather than reminding, recalling, reacting, receiving. You come to a point just to observe and recognize. So once you come to that, you understand you are already complete. And there is no kind of like something to fulfill. But what happens, our own memory, our own desires, our own ideas mix together, and we can't find that inner tranquility state within us. We are bound to many ideas, and now we are keep following. And that is why this incompletion always there. But if you look very carefully, in this very next moment, this entire universe is completely available for you. It's open for you. There is no such a precondition life ahead for you. But that all depend on the very moment, right now, that whatever the conscious decision you take. So if you understand that, you become your own master, you become your own creator. So meditation is one method that you come to this. This is not the only way. There are many other ways. One is the reading the sutras, the Buddha's teaching, not someone else. Even sometimes when it comes to translations, and we don't know what kind of that the meaning they put into when they translate it. So that's why not all the sutras, at least kind of like the Satipatthana Sutta, Anapanasati Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, there are very main certain sutras that you can little bit touch and see. So in that way, you get little bit taste about the Buddha's very real, authentic teachings. So the reading sutras, chanting sutras, and at the same time, the dharma that you understood and explaining to others, and reflecting the sutras. So there are many other ways that you can into this. So the meditation is a one way. So don't be limited only for meditation. So start to open your mind to other things and navigate yourself through these teachings and try to be matured with practice. So that way you can build up a very clear, solid foundation with your practice. And once you have it, there is no separation which we call conventional or spiritual. This, in the beginning, we mentioned it as a only practice point of view for beginners. But in a deeper level, once you come to understand the world, truth has many ways that you can access. As example, Four Noble Truths. There are four, not only one truth. So another thing is conventional truth and the eternal truth. These both are truth. You cannot resist anything. You cannot neglect any part. So understanding this both is important. So then rather than taking a one side, you become comfortable with everything. So that is where you're going to have a kind of like equanimity, balanced mind, and accepting everything rather than rejecting. To do that, you have to have very clear, strong, so kind of like a understanding of the wisdom. Rejecting is easy because our true nature to reject, fight, or love. We are born with the love and hate. Those are the two things that maintaining ourselves. Without grasping, so the love try to take you to grasp, clinging, holding, and the hatred take you to resist, fight. But how about, can you experience anything without grasping or clinging or fighting or resisting? Can you do something? Try it yourself with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, whatever the perception come to you, whatever you experience. Can you experience it without grasping, clinging, or without loving it, or without hating it or resisting it? If you can do that, then you will experience something. That is where you can go out of this concept egg, because we are inside the cage egg that we already with the concept, ideas, thought, imagination. That's the very nature of the world. So that's why when newly born baby is not free from anything, because as elders, we already, as culture, tradition, believing system, we already put our ideas on them. So they have no choice. So we the same, then again, when we come back in case in the future to this human world, we have no opportunity to be free. We have to accept that whatever our parents or the culture, tradition, that our environment, that ideas. So then give a try yourself during this time period. Before you die, while you are living like this, have some experience, develop that skill in your mind. Can you develop a method yourself without grasping, clinging, holding, or without resisting, without fighting, without hating? Can you be in the world. It doesn't matter spiritual or conventional. It doesn't matter heaven or the hell. It doesn't matter good or bad. It doesn't matter right or wrong. Because your love create the hate. Your hatred depend on your love. So whatever you like or whatever the goodness, always give the power to badness. So when we come to a point, withdraw from this both, there is another dimension that you can experience, which is you cannot explain it to others, or you may not going to share it with others, but still it will help you to find your way to your own inner liberation. So this teaching is not about that we are struggling and try to change the outside world, because one thing is wisdom being, you have to understand world as world. This is about us, how I can change myself, how I can get out of my desire or my hatred, my anger, and become free from my own self-centered identity or self-centered view. So if you can do that, little by little, with the clear understanding, effort, and then you will see yourself how your inner transformation happens with the wisdom. So that will take you to liberation. That will take you to be free from your own mind. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopateva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So be aware about your inhalation and exhalation. Allow it to happen naturally as it is. And when it happens, just recognize it. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. Your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward, and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ettavata ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipattiya Buddham Pujemi Dhammam Pujemi Sangham Pujemi Addaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Ha Paribunjissami Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.